Good day, fair folk. We travel today with Jade again. Jade hid herself behind a gnarled tree, watching. The tither never wavered, never softened. When at last he departed, Leora's father fell silent, his grief withered into numb stillness. Liora said nothing, but Jade felt the weight of her quiet despair more deeply than any wail. That night, Jade's resolve hardened. She was no mere errand girl, she told herself. She had learned from the archives, from the scrolls whispered over by candlelight. With trembling hands and a racing heart, she slipped into the archives after dusk. In a waste pile, she found a scrap of blotter parchment. By the glow of a guttering flame, she copied a single sacred line from the Holy Scroll. When she finished, pride swelled in her chest like fire. At last, she could help. At dawn, she hurried to Leora's farm. Father and daughter sat by the door, hollow-eyed. Jade pressed the parchment into the old man's hands. "This will save you," she whispered. "The tithe need not be paid this moon." Liora read the scrap and stiffened. "No," she said sharply. "Do not take this to the landlord, father. This is dangerous." Jade's pride burned at the refusal. "I risked everything for you," she snapped. But Leora's silence offered no reply, and in a storm of wounded anger, Jade turned and left. That night she dreamt fitfully, haunted by shadows of parchment and flame. In the morning her mood was bitter. "They deserved this," she muttered, striking her foot against a doorway. In the archives, the librarian awaited her. His face was pale as bone in the candlelight. "You wrote the word without sanction," he hissed. "You imitated the tongue of heaven. Do you not know that is blasphemy?" Jade's breath caught. "But I was helping her." "Helping?" His voice cut like a blade. "You will hang at dawn." The decree fell swiftly. She was chained in a cell, the toll of the cathedral bells counting down her hours. Yet at midnight, the librarian returned. His voice was low, urgent. "The council cannot be swayed, but there are those who would see you spared. Leave. Never return." With shaking hands, he unlatched the door. A man, almost bent into himself, walked in, and when she recognized him, her heart sank. What had she done? Watching her reluctance, the librarian said, almost in a flat, emotionless tone, "One blasphemy confessed in exchange for a blasphemy overlooked." Still, she hesitated to leave, watching Leora's father willingly settle into the cell that she had imagined would be her doom. The librarian patted her. "Thank Liora," he said, and hearing Leora's name made her flee the place. She fled into the night. The streets of Weald, twisted like veins of shadow, and for a moment she thought she was lost. Then from the darkness, Liora appeared, hooded, breathless. She grasped Jade's hand and pulled her through hidden ways only she seemed to know. They ran until the walls of Weald stood black against the horizon. At the edge of the moors, Liora stopped. She pressed food and a water skin into Jade's arms. "Go," she said softly. "Live. Do not waste your life for me. Find another archive in the north." Jade's throat tightened. "But I—" The pride of her deed ached in her chest. Leora's eyes glimmered. "You acted out of love. But love needs no boasting. And now, it is my turn." The words struck Jade deeper than any sentence of death. In that moment, she saw her pride turn into folly, of how she had lifted her help like a banner in righteousness. True kindness, she understood at last, bore no pride. When she turned toward the endless moor, Weald sinking into mist behind her, Jade carried no triumph, only silence, and the steady, humbling weight of humility. So, dear fair folk, the question now is, whose was the biggest help? One risked their head to save the other, while one sacrificed their only support to save the other. The castle window holds more questions. Tomorrow we spy another. Until then, good day.